is 2:24 a.m. and I'm walking around in the stairwell. It is December 26th. I'm gonna go right back upstairs. Anyway, I turned off my tablet, but I left my Bluetooth on. And miraculously, there were 3 guys jibber-jabbering on my Bluetooth headphones. This is why I usually don't use Bluetooth because it's easy to hack into. Aside from the fact that I know my tablet's hacked, I need to get like a VPN, but because it's already hacked, it doesn't matter. But I need to get a VPN, and I need to get a like a malware, spyware. What is it? Malwarebytes. Something like that, and probably a like antivirus browser thing. Those would help, but it's kind of hard to do that as a targeted individual when the minute you get a device, they're waiting there so that the minute you turn it on, they can infect it. But yeah, so I was listening to these guys, so I decided to go outside to see who was there. And of course, there's an SUV, license plate, T as in toy, 8080, F as in Frank, 42C, something like that. And it was some Middle Eastern guy. He had the nerve to roll down his window. I said, "Are you the only person in the vehicle?" And he's like, and I said, "Oh, so you were jibber-jabbering and you were connecting to my Bluetooth because you're the only vehicle out here. You're the only person out here. It's 2 frickin' in the morning." And he goes, "What's your name?" I said, "My name is fuck you." And then I asked the security who is downstairs, who was stalking me earlier tonight. And then she had the nerve to laugh at me when I was like, because I walked down and then I stopped. And then she came out and I said, "Oh, were you expecting me to be down there because you're following me around, trying to know my whereabouts all the time?" And she goes, and so now she has a messed up attitude because I called her out on it, because she also wanted to go to the cafeteria and act like she was going to be there. So I left the cafeteria. And then when she was leaving the cafeteria, after an hour staying there, hoping that I would go in, right? Because they think they know what I'm going to do. Then I went into the cafeteria and then I sat there for like an hour. So then when I came back in after dealing with that guy at the SUV, I said, "Do you guys happen to know any white guys? Are there any white guys in the building?" Because it sounded like white guys, but that guy was Middle Eastern. So I don't know, maybe he was just listening. I don't know. And because it was probably like a group conversation or something, because it was like 2 or 3 guy voices I heard. But they sounded like little white boys, they talked like the stereotypical white guys, And yeah, and she just kind of looked at me and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know I was talking in Greek." And then she goes, and I was like, "Yeah, exactly." I'm like, "Don't be mad because I just give you no attention when you're being negative. I'm asking you something that is constructive, or at least informative." So, gosh, I really don't think that I have the highest IQ. I really feel like I'm an average person. I really, really do. But when I deal with so many people that don't know how to keep their emotions with their common sense and intellect, and I get it, not everybody is a quick thinker, Sometimes I'm too quick, sometimes I'm impulsive, and I make a mistake, but I am very quick. But I do expect at least within like 5 to 10 seconds that somebody can think of something of intellectual depth to say to me. There's nobody that's around me that does that. The staff is pretty decent, but I mean, if that's staff, that particular person, then I'm not impressed. But who knows? Maybe she's being paid, like I do have microchips in my head. She's probably being paid and she thinks that she's very good at her job, but I just let her know that she's not. So of course she's going to feel a little bad about that. It's not my problem. Deal with it yourself. Obviously you're not that good at your job if I have to do that. Anyhow, I don't want to sit here on it. She's not even my focus, She's here trying to do her job. I get it. My focus is the guys that were on my Bluetooth. That's another reason. So targeted individuals, don't use Bluetooth. Bluetooth is bad. Bluetooth is literally the way to get into every device, and people access and retrieve and, put stuff in your devices like hella easy. no problem. And then the next best would be Wi-Fi. And then if they already know your cellular provider, that's the next best thing, because that's what they did with my AT&T phone when I first got it, the first 3 months. Even when I was on the phone with an AT&T representative, actually it was an iPhone representative. She was like, "Yeah, your Apple iCloud just got hacked into it." We were on the phone for 42 minutes, and after 17 minutes, she helped me and changed it out.